Everybody wants the rise. Nobody signs up for the fall. We celebrate winning like it's permanent, like it's guaranteed. But the truth is, nothing is permanent. Not your job, not your title, not your reputation. One mistake, one misstep, one moment of ego, and the empire you built becomes a headline. It forgets the truth, that behind every fall is a real human being. Someone who bled for their success, then bled again when it all collapsed. That's not just a possibility. That's exactly what happened to Anthony Scaramucci. Most people know the punchline: 11 days in the White House. A joke, a meme, a late-night soundbite. That's what the world saw. His dad was a construction worker who laid concrete for 42 years. And like most kids with grit, he wanted out. He wanted better. It's not just for himself, for his whole family. So he did what every dreamer does. When they've got no money and no connections, you're the smartest person in the room. You're different, special, unbreakable. That was Scaramucci in 2017. He gets the call. White House Communications Director, and everyone you thought was a friend, gone. Most men wouldn't recover from that. They'd disappear, hide, blame, break. But Scaramucci, he faced it. He owned every piece of it. He didn't run. He reflected. He humbled himself. And then he rebuilt. And that is where the lessons begin. Two entrepreneurs, two CEOs. Not just about finance, but about what it really takes to stay in the game long term. And what does it take? Resilience. Self-awareness. The ability to eat humble pie and say, I was wrong, but I'm not done. This is where we get it twisted. Too many people think success is about being right all the time. But the real ones know? Success is about getting better all the time. That only happens if you're willing to admit. Because what he learned in that fall applies to every single person chasing success today. Scaramucci didn't numb it. He faced it head on. And in doing so, he turned shame into strength. That's how you lead in the real world. Not by being perfect, but by being proven. The one who rose, fell, and rose again. That's the version we should all study. It's never quick. It's never glamorous. It starts in silence. When nobody's clapping for you. When the headlines have stopped. When the phone doesn't ring anymore. That's when you have to decide. Do I start again? Or do I stay broken? Scaramucci chose to start again. He's not a polished political guy. He's a money guy. He's brash, loud, raw. He leaned into what matters. Relationships, trust, humility, self-mastery. He told the truth about his mistakes. He took the heat. He walked into rooms where people whispered his name in shame and turned it into a story of redemption. He showed us that there is power in transparency. You don't have to pretend you've never fallen. You just have to prove you were willing to get back up. And here's what the comeback taught him and can teach you. But he's loyal to his values, to what he believes in. And he walks into Washington not as a politician. Own your narrative. If you don't tell your story, someone else will. And they'll get it wrong. Use failure as fire. Embarrassment can either shrink you or sharpen you. Build a foundation deeper than your ambition. It's because when the storm comes, and it always does, you need roots, not just wings. See, the fall isn't your enemy. It's your training ground. The pain you feel in failure, that's resistance. That's the burn. That's growth trying to happen. But only if you lean in. Real growth begins where ego ends. When you stop pretending you know it all. When you stop acting like your past success guarantees your future. When you finally understand that if you don't evolve, you will eventually be erased. That's what happened to Scaramucci. He got high on success, got loud, got reckless, got humbled. Fast. But what makes him powerful today isn't that he avoided failure. It's that he survived it. Not as the same man, but as a better one. But as someone who thinks he can fix a broken system. He outworked everyone, got into Tufts, then Harvard Law, and just like that, he's out. Fired publicly, globally, humiliatingly. He got laughed at his first day on Wall Street. They called him the guy who doesn't belong. You better pay attention, because it's not about whether you fail. You will. That's a guarantee.
Yes.
It's about whether you get honest enough to ask, what did I miss? Where did I lose my edge? What part of me needed to fall so something better could rise? Scaramucci learned that real growth begins where ego ends. But that's not the whole story. Eventually, he founded Skybridge Capital, a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund. He built his name, his brand, his bank account. By every external measure, Scaramucci made it. He won the game. But here's where most people stop listening. They see the yacht, the suit, the swagger. They think, he's untouchable now. But the truth is, the moment you feel untouchable, that's when you're most vulnerable. Because here's the lesson no one wants to hear. And that's the problem. We live in a world that loves to judge the surface. It mocks failure, but never studies it. And how you use that fall to build something unshakable. See, Scaramucci wasn't born rich. He didn't get handed a key to Wall Street. Anthony Scaramucci didn't just fall. He fell with the entire world watching. And yet what he did next, that's where the real story begins. This isn't about politics. This isn't about controversy. This is about what happens when your greatest win turns into your most public failure. He was a kid from Long Island, working class, public school, and still he climbed. He failed early at Goldman Sachs, got fired, rehired, climbed again. Ego doesn't show up when you're losing. Ego shows up when you're winning. When you're rising, ego whispers, you don't need advice. He doesn't last 2 weeks. He gives one unfiltered interview. It's honest, too wild, too raw for DC. Imagine what that feels like. One moment, you're a power broker. The next, you're a punchline. Whether you're building a business, a brand, a body, a mindset, whatever your battlefield is, this next part, let me say that again. He went back to basics, refocused Skybridge, rebuilt trust, spoke with more humility, more self-awareness. And now, he speaks to students. I let the wrong version of me lead. But now I'm back in control. That version of Scaramucci, the story doesn't end at the fall. That's just where the second half begins. The comeback is never clean. Not by rebuilding the same ego, but by building something stronger. This time not for image, not for power, but for impact. Never confuse a moment with a legacy. Your worst mistake is just that. A moment. It only becomes your legacy if you let it define you. The reason most people don't grow from failure, they numb it, deny it, avoid it. They stay busy instead of staying honest. You will fall, you will fail. But if you rise with wisdom, instead of ego F, this hits you deep. Don't walk away empty.